Hello and welcome to this second look exploring session looking at the play The Longer Thou Livest, The More Fool Thou Art by William Wager. It is there are three complete plays and one fragment by this chap, all from pretty much the same time, the late 1560s, and this is, I think, our last one. We'll have done them all twice, not including the fragment, which is being dealt with separately. So yes, we are coming to the end of an era, our Wager era. So this is where we're going to kick the tires and do this at fast pace. There will be no stage directions. There will be just the text as it goes, an attempt to act. There are some songs. Generally, people are going to mark those, though I believe we have made some decisions as to a tune for one of them. And yes, there may still be some textual issues on questions of speech prefixes. Some of them are a little dodgy, and so I have made some decisions, which may or may not be right. But otherwise, we have a wonderful room of people to read this, what's originally down in the printing as a four-hander. That's always debatable. We've split it up into 5. So reading Piety, Idleness, Ignorance, and the People is...
Lynn in Suffolk.
Reading Exercitacion, Wrath, Cruelty, God's Judgement is...
Lynn in the northwestern United States.
Reading Moros and Fortune is...
Alexandra in a huff.
Reading the prologue, Incontinencie, Impiety, and Confusion is...
Connor Brown in London.
And reading Discipline is...
Mark Pajor in South Bend, Indiana.
And I'm your host, Robert Crighton, and I am going to disappear in a moment and leave these people to give you the text as best they can. I say rough around the edges. Energy and pace is what we're aiming for, rather than necessarily complete accuracy, and we'll see what comes out the other side. But till then, we will open with a prologue. Prologue, please, prologue away.
Aristophanes, as Valerius doth tell, introduceth Pericles in a comedy, that he being reduced again out of hell unto Theithnesus did thus prophesy. Bring up no loins in your cities wantonly, for as you bring them up in acts of perniciousness, so in the same you must be in them obsequious. By this saith Valerius, he doth admonish, the rich men's sons be from evil manners refrained, these that you profuse fondness we do them nourish. Virtue of them ever after be disdained, so that when authority they have obtained, they themselves being given to inconvenience, oppress their subjects under their obedience. And how noble a thing is good education, for all estates profitable, but for them chiefly, which by birth are like have humanation in public wills, that they may rule over justly. For while the Romans did foresee this matter wisely, they had a wise senate, which prevailed alway, and being neglected, they fell soon to decay. To be a good man is also expedient, of good parents to be begotten and born, indeed all men it is most evident, that a pleasant rose springeth of a sharp thorn, but commonly of good seed proceedeth good corn. Good parents in good manners do instruct their child, correcting him when he beginneth to grow wild. The bringing up of a child from this tender age in virtue is a great help to be an honest man. But when youth is suffered to have his own rage, it falleth to much calamity now and then. I would wish parents and masters do what they can, both to teach and correct their youth with reason, that it may profit the public will on other season. To help hereto good schoolmasters are necessary, sage sober, expert leaned, gentle, and prudent. Under such masters youth can never miscarry, for either they refrain evils with good advertisement, or to occupy the mind good lessons to invent. To youth nothing in the world is so pernicious as to be conversant with masters lascivious. Bringing up is a great thing, so is diligence, but nothing God except is so strong of nature, for neither counsel, learning, nor sapience can an evil nature to honest manners allure. We do not see at these days so many past cure, that nothing their crookedness rectify till they have destroyed them utterly. The image of such persons we shall introduce, represented by one whom Moros we do call, by him we shall declare the unthrifty abuse of such as had lever to folly and idleness fall, to hearken to sapience when he doth call. Their process, their whole life they do spend, and what shame they come to at the last end. Wherefore this our matter we entitle and name, the longer thou livest, the more fool thou art. Are there not many which do verify the same? Yes, I warrant you, and naturally play that part. Yea, even from the judgment seat under the cart. But truly we mean no person particularly, but only to specify of such generally. Wholesome lessons now and then we shall interlace, good for the ignorant, not hurtful to the wise. Honest mirth shall come in and appear in place, not to the advancement, but to the shame of vice. To extol virtue without fail is our device. A season we shall desire you of patience, and to make you merry we do our due diligence.
Brum, brum on hill, the gentle broom on hill. Brum, brum on Hive Hill, the gentle broom on Hive Hill. The broom stands on Hive Hill, la. Robin, lend to me thy bow, thy bow. Robin the bow, Robin, lend to me thy bow. There was a maid come out of tent. Dainty love, there was a maid came out of tent. Dangerous bee. There was a maid come out of tent. Her proper, small and gent, as ever upon the ground went, for so it should be. By a bank as I lay, musing on things past, hey-ho. Lynn and his wife's mother, they went over a bridge, all three together. The bridge was broken and they fell in. The devil go with all, 'twas Lynn. Martin Swart and his man, Soddle-dum, Martin Swart and his man, Soddle-dum bell. Come over the born bells, my little pretty bells. Come over the born bells to me. The white dove sat on the castle wall. I bend my bow and shoot her I shall. I put her in my glove, both feathers and all. I'll lay my bridle upon the shelf. If you will any more, sing it yourself.
Oh, Lord, are you not ashamed, thus vainly the time to spend? Your friends by you are defamed. I would have you this gear to amend. What, to a good age now you grow, it is time childishness to forsake. I would find somewhat to do, I trow, and not like a fool such noise to make, going up and down like a witless boy, singing and bellowing like a daw. If you will not amend this toy, we will bring you to an other awe.
I have 20 more songs yet. A fond woman to my mother, as I were wont in her lap to sit, she taught me these and many other. I can sing a song of Robin Redbreast and my little pretty nightingale. There dwelleth a jolly foster here by west. Also, I come to drink some of your Christmas ale. When I walk by myself alone, it does me good my songs to render. Such pretty things would soon be gone if I should not sometime them remember.
Gaudet stultis natura creandis. Nature hath a pleasure fools to create. Ut mulis antique virtis and vlibis herbis, as mallows, nettles, and weeds of that rate. He sunt obtuso ingenio crasso cerebro. These are the dull of wit and of a gross brain. Et nihili pendunt anime bono depici ludo, and set at naught virtue given to pastime vain. These verses I may on you verify, except you will take another way. I would be glad your manners to rectify. Few would hear what I will say. For shame, I say yet again, forget your babish vanity. Folly and vice you must refrain, and give yourself to humanity.
Good scourging of my top. You would laugh to see me muzzle the pig. Upon my one foot, prettily I can hop and dance trimly about an egg. Also, when we play and hunt the fox, I outrun all the boys in the school. My mother gave me a bull of fox. Alone I am to handle such a tool. I can come softly behind a boy and give him a blow and run away. My mother teaches me many a pretty toy. You shall know what they be one day. When to fight with my father, thou dost purpose. Pluck him upwards by the hair still. With thy knuckles, strike him on the nose. Let him not go till thou have thy will.
Quales quisque sibi natus eduxit abitit. As one bringeth up his children, saith he, so shall he have them, wise or without wit. Therefore parents are to blame, as here we see. But to you now I pray you tell, be these the best lessons of your parents?
Oh, forsooth, I can ring the sun's spell and fetch fire when they go to matins.
Better it were to have no education than to be instructed in any part of idolatry. There is no part without abomination, but altogether full of sects and heresy.
Nay, I ken more than that. Hark, in your ear. To call him knave, I go not behind the door. Be bold, quoth my father, and do not fear if thy mother anger thee. Full heart.
Without doubt, such lewd persons there are, and this is the cause that so many evil men now replenish the earth with sorrow and care. Not one good man is scarcely among 10. Let this ungracious and foolish person be as an image of such bringing up, like to be as unhappy a patron as ever drank of any man's cup. For the love that we owe to mankind, and chiefly unto Christianity, we will prove to alter his mind and bring him to humanity.
All hail, right honourable discipline. Well occupied evermore I do you find, instructing one or other with doctrine, according to your natural kind, which is both comely managed to teach, and also to minister correction. If all men unto your precepts would reach, soon shall be cleansed all infection.
Welcome, Piety, the door of all virtue. If you consisteth God's honor, virtue, and love, without the which no good thing can ensue, as by the Christian poet we do prove, hoc sine virtutis alias nihil est putato. Without the worship of God omnipotent, which learned men properly call piety, other virtues, be they never so excellent, are esteemed but as things of vility.
And as virtue is no virtue without piety, so without the same vice cannot be eschewed. Piety is the true honor of God's majesty, wherewith Christians should be endued. God to worship, God to love, to fear, to praise, his holy commandments to obey, to be occupied in his laws, nights and days. This properly is called piety, I say.
If you will ken me good, thanks, I will bring you to a pretty bird's nest. Only I think it'd be a red shag. She is white in the tail and black in the breast.
The longer thou livest, the more fool thou art. The more instruction, the less sapience. Grace will not enter into a foolish heart. Iniquity stoppeth out intelligence. To you, piety and exercitacion. Of such folly I have admonished him. But I can have none other communication, so vainly his parents nourished him.
Thus the Christian poet to write was wont, without industry all things mortal. Naturae instinctu sponte ruant, by very nature unto vice do fall, but as we see by experience, a barren field is made fat and fertile. If men will admit their diligence, and labour about it a while. So though this young fellow be foolish as yet, with labour and diligence, admonition. He may, in process of time, learn wit, and be willing to take erudition.
Virtue hath very hard entrances, but ready is the way unto vice, and there to fall we all, not by chances, but willingly, if we be not ware and wise. Now, whereas the lad's education hath been rude, foolish, fond, and vain, let us give him good information, and to profit him let us gladly take pain. Discipline, do you still your endeavor to cause him perfectly to know piety, that is, God to serve, to fear, to love, to honor, and his parents to obey with humility. Then you know that I, Exercitacion, according as I shall see his aptness, I will exercise him in good occupation, whereby he shall eschew idleness.
And St. Nicholas's shambles there is enough, or in Eastcheap, or at St. Catherine's, there'd be good puddings at the sign of the plough. You never did eat better saucerlings.
This folly is not his innocency, which can in this wise lewdly overthwart, but is a malicious insolency, which proceedeth from a wicked heart.
Come hither, brother, come hither. Your name to me you must disclose.
His folly his master did consider, and therefore called him nothing but Moros.
Moros is a fool by interpretation, but wisdom goeth not all by the name. He that is a fool in conversation, as a fool indeed we may him blame. I know some that be named happy, and some good, blessed, and fortunable, yet truly there be none more unlucky, worse, more wicked, and unprofitable. And though Moros a fool doth signify, yet you may be wise, as I trust you will, if you will serve God as you ought diligently. He shall give you wisdom, if you pray still.
I may tell you, my father did like me well. I am the wisest child that ever he had. Oftentimes I have heard him say, or tell, my boy Moros will prove a wise lad.
If you can remember your father's saying, why can you not remember good lessons as well? You may not set your mind upon playing, but apply yourself to discipline's counsel.
My counsel is that you fear God above all. Pray unto him to give you sapience. Cease not upon his holy name to call. Be meek in sprite, fast, and keep abstinence. His ministers, priests, and preachers, such as rule the holy Church Catholic, obey, I mean, such as be true teachers. Company not with any heretic, and heretic him holy doctors do call, which erreth in God's most sacred scripture, which is blind and seeth not his own fall, but maliciously doth in error endure. The greatest heresy that ever was, hath the Pope and his adherents published. Yea, the heresy of Arius it doth pass, for Christ and his benefits it hath extinguished. Example by the wicked mass satisfactory, which to Christ's death they make equivalent, for they call it a sacrifice propitiatory, which is in heresy most pestilent. Again, prayer to saints that be dead, which is a great point of infidelity, for they forsake Christ, which is the head, who taught to worship in sprite and verity.
Can you recite wisely again a discipline's counsel and monition?
Can I? Yeah, I can, and that plain. And if you will suffer me without interruption. First, he said, bear an odd end with an all, play now and then in thy master's absence, cease not a knave by his right name to call, much on the spite is past abstinence.
Lo, you there, what a patron this is. Think you that he is not past grace?
Yet I say he hath wit to do this, may turn to virtue also in space.
Come hither, I pray thee. Tell me but one thing. How intendest thou to live another day?
How? Truly make merry, dance and sing, set cock a hoop, and play care away.
Seeing that you have none other respect, but your life's days in folly to spend, discipline must you now and then correct, that unto wisdom you may yourself bend.
Correct, quoth he. Why shall I be beaten? My father will not suffer that, I trow.
You begin to be scabby and worm-eaten. It is time salt upon you to strow. Sirrah, do you see what I have here? The wise man willeth an ass to have a scourge. You have learned folly many a year. From the same now I must you purge. You that have the wit to mock and to scorn, what wit you have to wisdom I will see. Upon your sides the scourge shall be worn, except you will speak rightly after me. I will love and fear God above all.
I will love and fear God above all.
He might vouchsafe to give me sapience.
He might vouchsafe to give me sapience.
I shall not cease on his holy name to call.
I shall not cease on his holy name to call.
That he will open mine intelligence.
That he will open mine intelligence.
Well said.
Well said.
Say the verses alone together, like as you said them after me.
Say the verses alone together, like as you said them after me.
Is meaning you do not consider. Alone, you must say the verses as they be.
His meaning you do not consider. Alone you must say the verses as they be.
You may say no more, as he did say. He did but teach you your words wisely to frame.
You may say no more, as he did say. He did but teach you your words wisely to frame.
With an ungracious fool we spend the day. He turneth all to a mock and a game.
With an ungracious fool we spend the day. He turneth all to a mock and a game.
Vexation, they say, giveth intelligence, and other while I will prove you with my scourge.
Vexation, they say, giveth intelligence, and other while I will prove you with my scourge.
This heady foolishness and negligence, with correction away we must purge.
This heady foolishness and negligence, with correction away we must purge.
We will hold him while you do beat him. Lay on discipline, do not spare.
Giddy, I trow, I shall make you all three to sweat. One by one, and for you all I do not care. Ah, gee, honey, and alas, my house. No more. Oh, you mercy, a merchant, thank you. For God's sake, leave mine ass is sore. I will stay as you will have to say no.
Say thus.
Say thus.
I will love and fear God above all. He might vouchsafe to give me sapience. I will not cease on his holy name to call, that he may open mine intelligence.
Good son, say these words and think the same, and we will teach you other good lessons mo.
You have put me out, God give you shame. I wot not which way the devil they go.
Repeat them again. I will love and fear God above all. He might vouchsafe to give me sapience. I will not cease on his holy name to call, that he may open mine intelligence.
I will love forage when they be sawed, beef and all, for mutton, good sauces, salt and onion, up unto the high dish when my dame they call, while she openeth the pie, I picked a pinion.
Let us lose no more labour out this fool. The more he is taught, the worse he is.
Hold him, and I will teach him a new school. He can speak the right that can speak this.
Oh, beat me heartily, to make you laugh. I turned them this way. Sometime I love to talk and sing merrily, but I think no harm then. Goodbye to stay.
If you let us some towardness see, for to make you a man we do intend. To laugh, to be merry, to sing, times there be, but in such things now we have no time to spend.
Let us hear how discipline you do understand. The sentence that he hath taught you, you do say.
What is the best way, I think, to escape your hand? I trust to be even with you one day. I will love and fear God above all. He might vouchsafe to give me sapience. I will not cease on his holy name to call, that he may open mine intelligence.
This is well if it be spoken with the heart. Fear sometime causeth dissimulation.
I cannot speak it, I suppose, without a heart. After fear come always consolation.
I perceive that you have wit competently. If you would apply it unto virtue, we will instruct you sufficiently. If our doctrine you will humbly ensue.
By us you shall have this commodity. In this life you shall be in reputation. After this life you shall have felicity. That is joy in the heavenly habitation.
My son, this order with you we will take. First, I will commit you unto Piety, who the true servant of God shall you make, and teach you to honor his majesty. To love him, to pray to him day and night, to know his Son, Jesus Christ, equal with the Father in substance and might. The Holy Ghost, the author of love and concord. In him you shall learn God's word to hear. Your duty to the ministers of the same, who the mysteries of God in their hearts do bear, to esteem the sacraments each one by one. Piety will teach you your duty to kings, to rulers and magistrates, in their degree, unto whom you must be obedient in all things concerning the statutes and laws of the country. It is piety your parents to obey, yea, your prince and country to defend, the poor to comfort ever as you may, for the truth's sake, your blood to spend.
No, there, by God, all things save blood. He that breaketh my head, I will break his again.
Your understanding in that is not good. Shut appetite, you must always refrain.
After that you are endued with piety, in me you shall have exercitation, to your own and other men's utility. I mean a science or occupation, which to learn do your diligence, and being learned, do the same occupy, and occupied by experience, seek to exercise them busily.
How say you? Will you dwell with Piety and learn his instructions with a good will?
I thank you for your good mind toward me. I will never go from you, but dwell with you still.
First unto you a testament here I give, wherein you shall learn what the will of God is, to pray upon and to learn your Christian belief, and to amend your manners that be amiss.
God's sanity. This is a goodly book, indeed. Be there any saints in it, and pilgrims? So I have spied Christ's cross, must be. I may tell you, I am past all my crossroads. I have learned beyond the 10 Commandments. 2 years ago, doubtless, I was past grace. I am in the midst of God's judgment. I trust to be as wise as he within short space.
I must have all these vain words to cease. Another leaf you must now turn. You must turn now truly.
Of good milk, if you will give me daily a mess, you shall see I will wait upon you duly.
It is so that I may no longer tarry here. I must go hence. Come, will you go with me?
Yea, that I will, for here is little good cheer. Good fare you have, I purpose to see.
Look that you do yourself honestly behave, for I purpose to see you every day thrice. Neither mocks nor gauds shall your skin save. I advise you therefore to be honest and wise.
In doing well, fear ye no punishment. Be ruled by the counsel of discipline. Your own folly will be your detriment, if you from piety chance to decline.
Weren't you in pain of 20 shames? I am one now. You shall see me, very honest. But ere I go, yet, let me know your names. Declare them, I pray you, at my request.
You know that my name is Discipline.
Very well, very well. Derek Quintin, your master Derek Quintin.
Oft times you have heard me called Piety.
Master Piety and Master Derek Quintin.
I exercise men in good works and doctrine, and therefore exercitation they call me.
Exercitacion. Here's the mystification. Derek Quintin will gather rods of the Piety and beat mine earth till it be out of fashion. With this device truly I cannot agree.
Why stand you murmuring there alone? Give ear unto the words that to you be said.
Come, Morris, come, good son, I must be gone. To dwell with me, You need not be afraid.
Afraid? No. I will go with you to the world's end. I promise you to be true night and day, for though ever so much about me you do spend, I will not bear the valour of a penny away. Go before him and yet say,
We have taken a busy work upon us. For all our words, he is not the better one piece.
Well, a season with him take ye pain. We will prove if we can do any good.
with them, if long you do here remain, I will go seek a new master by the rood.
How think you? Truly, I am in despair. I fear that all our labor will be lost. He is not bent neither to abstinence nor prayer. I am advised to bestow on him no more cost.
Ipsake non multo est natura potentior uso. I like well that he is gone with piety, for conversation with persons of virtue altereth nature sometime for a surety. Custom may all kind of manners bring forth. This to be true we know by experience. But if he decay, we must take it at worth. At the least, let us do our diligence.
If he had been taken somewhat in season, between whiles, let Moros put in his head, I would have hoped in his amendment. But folly hath so overcharged his reason that he is past redress in my judgment. While a plant of a tree is young and tender, you may cause it to grow crooked or right. So a child, while knowledge is but slender, you may instruct whereto you will by might. But after the plant is grown to a tree, to any bowing it will not give place. So young folks, when to age grown they be, wax stubborn and be of indurate face. Again, he is of a very haughty nature, a wit, but to no good applied. If he shall be suffered to endure, much evil by him shall be multiplied.
Let us see how he doth profit in piety, if he goeth anything forward therein, unto labour, virtue, and verity. I will hope him easily to win, for as I said here a little before, whoso doth God faithfully serve and fear, and above all things him serve and honour, he shall thrive, go forward, and prosper.
I believe that with piety he went from correction himself to wind, but if he to any virtue be bent, I am much deceived truly in my mind. Certain persons I could rehearse by name have pretended a great perfection. And why? To avoid punishment and shame, due for their vicious infection. As some have entered into religion, wherefore, because they will not pay their debt, when they are persons of no good devotion. But upon vanity their hearts are set.
Go we softly and hearken for his fashion. If with any lewdness I chance him to take, I shall minister to him such correction as shall make his flesh tremble and quake.
With piety you are not like him to find. He did put in his head twice or thrice. He looketh for mates of another kind. Wholly he is given to folly and vice.
He is like to escape very narrowly if neither of us catch him by the back. Except he be corrected thoroughly, he will still use his foolish knack.
Devil is the horse and fool. He bade me even now come hither. Doubtless he is gone again to school. Even very now we were together. Truly they will make him a fool indeed. Teach him good manners. Teach my dog. When you see him in learning proceed, when then will I make a man of this log? What ho! We're out now, Moros. What ho! Doubtless they take pains about a stone. Doting fools think to make corn to grow upon gravel where earth there is none.
Yeah. I laugh no more, no more, no more, no more. Good Master Derek Quincy, funny, but you be so sore. I will forsake you and your doctrine.
No force hardly let them not spare. What doth a fool in such company? Oh, that they would beat him on the buttock spare, to see that I would spend an halfpenny. What? How Moros come hither, I say? He will not tarry long, I dare warrant. He and I meet ever once in a day. Little will he stick to play the truant.
What idleness the parent of all vice? who thought to have found that here.
Then art thou neither manly nor wise, as by thy salutation doth appear. For if I of vice be the parent, then thy parent I must needs be. Thou art of vice by all men's consent, therefore it is like that I begat thee.
My parent? Then hang my parent. No, sir, I am your fellow and mate. There with you we may be well content, for I am of no small estate. Autem fumus vitorium est omnin mentem, ad multa mala tahunti oticam ipsa ibodal est. Idleness of vices is a provocation to many evils. Idleness draweth the mind. Lust or lecherous inclination is fellows to idleness by kind. Though I have proved by authority that I am thy fellow, as I said, to be my parent, it were temerity. Your argument here I have stated.
They were thine own words, and not mine. Parent of all vice thou didst me call, then it followeth that I am thine. But thou art the greatest vice of all. Greatest mischief that ever chanced came by the means of inconstancy. For whereas thou art enhanced, there is all mischief and insolency.
Make room! Stand back in the devil's name! Stand back, or I will lay thee in the face!
Marry, stand thou back with a very shame. Is there no room enough in the place?
'Tis but a copy of his countenance. Wrath must declare his property.
He as what as vengeance? Stand back and give him liberty.
I had went it had been another, I thought to have given thee a blow. In my rage I favour not my brother. The nature of wrath full well you do know.
Wrath and madness, they say, be all one, saving that madness doth still remain. But wrath in fools will soon be gone, yea, and as soon it will come again.
So fools not only incontinency is annexed, but with wrath also furious. The mind of fools without clemency soon waxeth hot and is temerarious.
Speaking of fools, it cometh to my remembrance, I thought to have found Moros, the fool, here.
He goes to school now with a vengeance. He shall be a doctor the next year.
To school! As angry as I am, I must laugh to hear of Moros such news.
I spake with him as hither I came, and willed him their schooling to refuse.
They keep him there still by violence, but I know that with us is hard.
When they bring Moros into sapience, then of my sword I will make a cart.
I suppose he will not be long hence, if by any means he may escape.
I dare wager any man 40 pence to make him shortly as wise as an ape.
That wager with thee I durst lay, to make him so wise thou art not able, for he is a very fool, I dare say, and as stark an idiot as ever bare babble.
Yea, but he shall be a more fool yet, when all we three be unto him annexed. For the truth is he hath now some wit, but then all his wit shall be perplexed. With me he is very well acquainted, for all his bringing up hath been with me, so that any virtue he could never see. Therefore pastime he called me alway, and plays and games he hath no measure. Incontinency to him, thou must say, that thy name is called pleasure.
I am called so with them that be wise. Wrath is wont to be called manhood.
In good faith little needeth this device, to be called by our name is as good. Doth he know what idleness doth mean? Knoweth he incontinency to be lechery? He discerneth not clean from unclean. His mind is all set on foolery.
See, would you judge him a fool, so sadly as he readeth on his book?
I like he cometh now from school. On his lesson earnestly he doth look.
Have you seen a more foolish face? I must laugh to see how he doth look.
Hold your peace a little space. Hear him read upon his book.
body of God, laugh you me to scorn. I will tell Master Derek Quintine. By these 10 bones I have sworn, and he shall teach you to make tile fine. Take heed of earth out of fashion. I advise you, come not in his claws. I will tell them, by God's passion, how you judged them fools and daws. I would you were with Pine Nut Tree. He would make you a little sadder. You shall go up to the gallows tree and come down without a ladder.
You are well learned, it doth appear. Can you any Latin to us speak?
I can sing Custodinos in the queer, and verse, of course, finally break.
Read your Latin or Greek in your book. What was it, I pray you let us know?
Here you may see, if you will look, it was the Cuckold's Crossroad.
That crossrow let us hear, I pray thee, and a point for thy labour thou shalt have.
Oh, I am but a learner, you may see. I can no further than A for name. God's sancty pastime, my fellow, for God's sake, keep me from Derek Quintine.
If my counsel thou wilt follow, I will keep thee from him and from his doctrine.
He speaketh of one Derek Quintine, Pine Nut Tree, and arse out of fashion. Doth he not mean old discipline, piety, and exercitation?
Yes, buddy, but so to speak he cannot. Tell him one thing 20 times, and he will forget it by and by, God wot. Yet he can sing songs and make rhymes.
What need we to change our names for him? For he discerneth not cheese from chalk. He careth not who doth sink or swim, so that in his own ways he may walk.
Shall I speak with you, pastime, in your ear? A word or two I would tell you of my mind. Captain, with fame grimmen I do fear. Where are you that ye will be my friend?
I warrant thee all, we be thy friends here. We come to rid thee out of thy foes' bands.
Fear none of us, but be thou of good cheer. Bid us welcome and take us by the hands.
Bid us welcome and take us by the hand. Bid us welcome and take us by the hand. Bid us welcome and take us by the hand.
Grant mercy, Moros, how do you?
You are welcome, Master Manhood say.
You are welcome, Master Robin Hood say.
You shall cough me a fool, I make God avow.
You shall cough me a fool, I make God avow.
I can laugh well at him by this day.
I can laugh well at him by this day.
Come to me, Moros, what dost thou with this book? Thou canst not read upon it, I'm sure.
Pine Nut Tree took it me thereon to look. There are goodly saints in it, fair and pure.
Alas, one word to read in it he is not able. More fools than he to give him a book. A fool will delight more in a babble, and more meet for him thereon to look.
Have a pair of cards ready. Look what a book I have for thee here. Cast away that book, it is worse than naught.
This book will make thee of lusty cheer, if thou wilt bear it away in thy form.
Oh, jeez. It is a good book indeed. Sainty, oh man, here are saints, a great sort. This book passeth Christ cross me speed. Oh, it is goodly sport. But let not Derek Quinton the good thing. He did set me a lesson to ken.
None of them shall meddle with thee. We are come to make thee a man.
Make curtsy and say, I thank you, manhood.
Make curtsy and say, I thank you, Robin Hood. What? Oh, God. See, here is a godly gentlewoman. Here are specks, some black, some red as blood. Teach me this book. I pray you perfectly to get.
If I wist thou wouldst be pretty and wise, I would give thee other things therewith to play. Seest thou these bones? These are a pair of dice. I will teach thee to occupy them some day.
You taught me first to play at blow point, at span counter, quoting, and muzzle the peg, at scales, and to play with the cheap's joint, and to hop a good way on my one leg. How long was I learning of these plays? I'm apt enough such good things to take. Do you know more but show me the ways, and if I learn not, let me lose the stake.
Look what I have done for thee beside. But here have I gotten thee company, whithersoever thou wilt go or ride, defend thee from all villainy. Lo, this gentleman is called Pleasure. He will teach thee to handle a wench. Means I will teach thee to get a treasure. Such things we will make a trench.
Is your name called Play? Sure. You are welcome. I thank you heartily.
Tush, fool, my name is called Pleasure. That is, liking and lust bodily. Fools love always such dalliance, to kiss, to clip, and in bed to play. Oh, with lusty girls that sing and dance, that have a more pleasant life no man way.
Oh, I mean what you know now. That's a pleasure. Master Pastime, I'm beginning your ear.
Dash, dash, I warrant thee cannot thou. I will provide for all such gear. Lo, this is manhood to make thee bold. Let thee but be a word and a blow.
I would look big, like a man, that I would. If my beard were a little more grow.
Suffer no man with thee to reason, for fools can no wise answer make. Therefore give a blow alway in season. Pass not thou how they do it take. Like a man, ever face out the matter. Stick not blood, heart, nor wounds to swear, but suffer no man with thee to clatter. Anon let him have a blow on the ear. Behold, here I give thee a good sword, and a dagger, thyself to defend. Draw thy dagger at every word, and say that thy blood thou wilt spend.
Oh, see, after you keep my book, these weapons have set me on a fire. Oh, I see you. Like a man do I not look. To be fighting now is all my desire. No remedy with one of you. I must fight. Defend your heads, you fools, thieves, and daws.
Shut the nature of a fool right. Just to chide and fight without a cause.
It is a proverb wise and ancient. Beware how you give any an edge toward, unto madmen that be precipitant, unto a young child, and unto a fool.
Well, look, I
Miss
fight till I'm
Rothsline.
out of breath.
He fighteth till he's out of breath. Enough now, Morris. It is well done.
It's right enough. I will fight myself to death. I pray you, let not me leave so soon.
Sarah, who am I? Will you remember? What did pastime tell you in your ear?
A pretty morsel, young and tender. Now would to God I were there.
Thou must wear thy sword by thy side, thy dagger handsomely at thy back. Before thou fightest, thou must use to chide. Mark what I say, and learn of me that knack. First, this order with thee we will take. We will teach thee to play at cards and dice. Acquainted with Nell and Nan we will thee make, and to appear a man most mighty and wise. We will desire pleasure to take pain, to provide us an handsome hospital, where secretly we may together remain, till we have finished our devices all.
Hark! It is best that there we meet, and that house such as we use requite.
You used to banquet. Nay, I pray you, let us have one sheet, for I cannot well lie in a blanket.
Tush, fool, we speak of banqueting. We mean to eat, drink, and make good cheer, with Meg and Bets to be ruffling, whereas
Ooh.
no pleasure shall be too dear.
There are beds, blankets, and sheets good store, and the house of a girl is never empty. You shall be sure of one or another evermore. Sometimes you shall have your choice of 20.
You mean that thatched house by the waterside, which is white limed above in the roof.
Yea, pardie, there thou shalt for us to provide, and house it is for the nonce, if it come to the proof.
I go hence. Tarry you not long after, for I will bid mine hostess make haste.
Before you go, let us have a song. I can reach up to sing. So far and past.
Thou hast good song, thou hast songs good source, sing one, and we through the foot will bear.
Let me study. It will come anon. Te, te, la, la. It is too high there. So. That is too low. Sol, 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 fa, fa. That is too flat. Re, re, re. By and by, you shall know. Me, me, me. How say you to that?
Care not for the true, but what is thy song? No remedy, thou must first begin.
I will be gone if you tarry long. When we know how, we shall come in.
I have a pretty titmouse come picking on my toe.
Gossip with you, I propose to drink before I go.
Little pretty nightingale among the branches green.
Give us of your
Show your
Christmas
Christmas
ale
ale of St. Stephen.
Stephen. Robin Redbreast with his note, singing aloft in the queer.
One of you to get fresh coats, for winter then draws near.
My brig lieth on the shelf, if you have any more, vouchsafe to sing it yourself, for here you have all my store.
A song much like the author of the same. It hangs together like feathers in the wind.
This song I learned it of my dame, when she taught me mustard seed to grind. God's days, it she gone away. I would have spoken with him whenever he had gone. I'm sorry for that. By this day, he should have worn me a token to Joan.
Thou shalt bear 4/4 of a fool. But Joan will that best regard.
Shall we go leap over the stool, or play fox the hole about the churchyard? I must be doing a something always. My weapon, once again, I must handle. How my dagger will cut now, I will say. Beware how with me they wandle. Fend your heads! How do I see this flourish? Nay, I can fetch him over my head. This fetch among such as be foolish, I may tell you, will stand sometime instead.
This fellow fighteth very sore alone. God have mercy on his soul, he will kill. This fury will away anon, namely, when he is acquainted with skill.
Keep thy fighting till discipline doth come. Then let me see how thou wilt play the man.
Body of God, stand away, make room. I will surely hit him if I can. Oh, that my sword were a mile long, I would kill him then, whereas he dwelleth. Thinks I'm waxen very strong. So free you have my heart swelleth.
The longer thou livest, the more fool thou art. A fool in childhood, a fool in indolency. Let Moros let fall his sword and hide him. In man's state thou wilt play a fool's part, and as a fool die with shame and infamy. Beat a fool in a mortar, saith the wise man, and thou shalt not make him leave his folly. I have done all that ever I can, and I see it profiteth not truly.
Save me, I pray you, Master Robin Hood. This is Derek Quintin, my master. He will fight as he were rude. For me he hath brought yonder waster. Oh, I know Derek Quintin's intent. He will bring me to arse out of fashion. There, in work and labour, I shall be painted. I had liever die by God's passion.
Ay, whoreson, take thy sword in thy hand, and at the gainest lay upon him.
Go to him like a man, by thee I will stand.
Sirrah,
So heartily in his head, one would say.
Sirrah, speak up you, I pray you, Robin Hood. Take you my sword, and drive him hence.
What, whoreson, I tell thee, my name is Manhood. I had never have left 40. I had liever have spent 40 pence.
Animi vilis timor argumentum est. Fear of a vile mind is an argument. Conscience accuseth the foolish beast that he hath forsaken wholesome document.
I shall have a beard, I trow, one day. Then shall I be a man, strong and bold. A beard were grown, to you I may say, I would pay him home. But God, that I would.
Take thy sword in thy hand and say, I defy thee, I, old rusty peasant.
Take thy sword in thy hand and say, I defy thee, I, old thirsty weasant.
Avoid, trudge, and get thee away, or by this part I will cut thy weasant.
A cloyed grudge, but do not deny, or by his cart I will pluck a pheasant.
Why, it is true that of thee he said, the longest thou livest, the more fool thou art.
Pity of God, of him I am so afraid that in every word I am like to fart.
The fool as yet is young and nesh, and the fear of discipline is in his mind. After that he is nozzled in woman's flesh, the knave he will play in his kind.
It is even so, a boy is never bold, till he hath companied with an whore. Then doth he pick quarrels, chide and scold. After that he despiseth both rich and poor. Come, pleasure, hath all things provided. Let us no longer tarry here. You will think we have him derided. Go we, let us see his provision and cheer.
I will be sure to be gone first. I am out of your hand, Derek Quintin. Now, do thou thy best and thy worst. I defy both thee and all thy doctrine.
Mark the trade of much youth at this day. See if this fool painteth not out their image. Them they despise that either do or say anything at all to restrain their dotage. The fool and the boy, saith the prophet Esay, shall presume against his ruler ancient. Young fools do this saying verify. To wise men it is over evident. When fools are suffered in folly, and youth maintained in their will, when they come up to a man's state holy, fools they be, and so they continue still. One writeth thus among many things. Never shall you have good men and sapients where there be no good children and younglings. Which thing is most true in my judgment? Two things destroy youth at this day. Indulgentia parentum, the fondness of parents, which will not correct their haughty way, but rather embolden them in their intents. Idleness, alas, idleness, is another. Whoso passeth through England to see the youth, he would wonder how idle they be and how they stand. A Christian man's heart it would pity to behold the evil bringing up of youth. God preserve London, that noble city where they have taken a godly order for a truth. God give them the minds the same to maintain, for in the world is not a better order. If it may be God's favor still to remain, many good men will be in that border.
No God's mercy, no reverence, no honour, no tap off, no knee bow, no homage. Who am I? Is there no more good manner? I trow you know not me, nor my lineage. I tell you, I rule and govern all. I advance and I pluck down again of him that of birth is poor and small as a nobleman. I can make to reign. I'm she that may do all things in heaven or earth. Who is like to me? I make captives of fools. I make captives of lords and kings. Of captives or fools, I make kings to be. No curtsy yet. For all this power, I tell you, learned men call me a goddess. A beggar I make rich in an hour. To such as I love, I give good success. Who in this world can me withstand? Who can say yea when I say nay? I change all in the turning of a hand. Whatsoever I will do, it I may say. Have I done nothing for any here? Have I not one lover or friend? None to welcome me with a merry cheer? Now, by my troth, you be unkind. Well, I may chance some to displease. My purpose to dally, and lay a feat which shall turn some to small ease. A popish fool will I place in a wise man's seat. By that you shall see, you shall learn, I trow, to do your duty to a lady so high. He shall teach you fortune to know, and to honour her till you die.
It is a world to see the fool's greediness. I have nozzled him in carnality. A man would marvel to see his readiness unto all fleshy sensuality. And these harlots are not to learn how to dally with a simple soul. They may lead him with a thread of yarn into the midst of a whirlpool. He prayed me hither to decline and look diligently about. He's afraid of discipline and of exhortation, no doubt. Neither of them both can I see. I will return and bear him word. A glad man then will Moros be, for them he feareth more than the sword.
Wait, now, Cyril, are you blind? Am I so little a mote that you cannot see? I struck down your high mind and cause you, I trow, to know me.
I cry you mercy, lady most excellent. Without doubt I did not your honour behold. O empress, O goddess omnipotent, I render your praises manifold.
Well, at this time I hold you excused. Glad to see you do your duty so well. If all other had themselves so used, it had been better for them. To you I may tell, I trow your name is Incontinencie, one of the properties of Moros.
I see him give to insolency, and I further him in that purpose. Lechery is to fools to co-natural, wise men thereof are ever aware, for they see that such as uses bestial bring men to infirmity, shame, and care.
How vile soever he be in condition, how foolish soever and incipient, how full of pride soever and ambition, how lecherous soever and incontinent, it is notwithstanding our pleasure to exalt him in honour and riches. We will give him lord, wealth, and treasure, and in all things therewith good success. He loveth women, I will give him plenty. He loveth gay raiment, meat and drinks fine. Of raiment he shall have shifts 20, store of venison, wildfowl, bread, and wine. Moros shall lack nothing for a season. They shall see that fortune can exalt fools, who shall nurture men of wit and reason, and make them glad to learn their schools. Seeing that the vulgars will me not praise for exalting good men and sapient, I will get me a name in other ways, that is, by erecting fools incipient.
Pleaseth you to give me license, a few verses of a poet to recite.
I will gladly hear the poet's sentence, whereas against me he doth not write.
Sed rido ad solitas quas quodol extoliat ad alta, collected in soler capion spontanea incorare, or quod sinotas tunac omnia plena vidas. I come now to speak of fools again, with whom, when it pleaseth fortune to play, she extolleth and maketh rain. Ye and to them wise men to obey. Oh, then with how many follies thou shalt see all things filled with and replenished, which to rehearse long it would be. Yet of the poet they be published, dishonesty mightily trumpeth them. Virtucas demuit contemptum caciduam. Virtue is mocked of every man. Then of whores and harlots there is no small sum, nothing but eating, drinking, and play. Only voluptuousness, foolish and filthy, increaseth more and more day by day, and hath the rule in realm and city.
And as the poet writeth, so shall it be with Moros. We will take such an order that all things which for his pleasure he shall see, so let him command in every border. You know where Moros we shall find. We command you, lead us to the place, and for as much as you occupy his mind, so teach him to know our noble grace. For before that he doth again appear, an other manner of person we will him make. Yea, and we will cause all persons, far and near, as a worthy gentleman, him for to take.
If it will please your grace to walk, I will bring you where Moros is.
Come, wait upon me. By the way we will talk, thou shalt see wonders after this.
I am come hither now to complain, not only to see this fool thus to miscarry, which virtuous discipline doth disdain, and to honesty is contrary. Also of a great multitude, which despite God and his counsel, as though there were no beatitude, no torments for sin with devils in hell. I can say no more of piety, when I have said a little before, which is to serve God's majesty, the same to love, to fear, to honour. Now, alas, what manners, what heavy times! Piety is utterly extinguished. What contempt is there, what crimes, more mischief than can be published! And as God's majesty is despised, so the love amongst men doth abate. Never was there greater hatred devised than is among men of every estate. What falsehood, what deceit and guile, subtleties are of men invented, who doth not his body with sin defile, who is with his own state contented. I have read of many worlds and seasons, of so sinful a world did I never read. About mischief, men occupy their reasons. None other thing nowadays is in their head. God hath some good people, I dare say, which pray devoutly, fast and abstain, and call upon him night and day, the wickedness of our times to restrain. And I doubt not, for his own name's sake, he will subvert the works of sin, which he gone shortly to slake, and that virtue the victory may win.
I must laugh to see Fortune's dalliance. Lord, how she hath this fool enhanced. The sport is to see his countenance. This wealth hath him strangely chanced, but they say that fools are fortunable. It appeareth to be the true now indeed. Fortune hath made a fool honorable, and like more in honor to proceed. Now am I sent officers to seek impiety, cruelty, and ignorance. I must trudge about all this week, not a little unto my hindrance.
Such a master, such servants indeed! What a plague is it evermore, when virtuous men have evil speed, and fools have ease, wealth, and honour! Had we not had manifest probation, Have not men of God been put to silence, and such fools in whom was no good disputation, but altogether with cruelty gave they sentence?
Thou art one of them for whom I seek, not for thy honor, but for thy decay. I have commandment to chop thee as a leek, if thou wilt not get thee away. Wherefore be ruled by my counsel, come no more into Moros's company. For both with shame he will expel, and put thee also to villainy.
For it is to meet a she-bear when she is robbed of her whelps, then with a fool and rule doth bear, for another reason, nor learning will be his helps.
No more words, but get thee away at once. I am wrath, some kindled and set on fire. Speak one word, and I will break thy bones, and tread thee down here in the mire. Yea, I advise thee, lo, what wrath can do. To wrath place to give he is glad. To fools many are glad to lean to. For fear of their rage when they are made, yonder cometh one that I seek for. I am deceived if it be not the same. As he were blind, about he doth pour. Ignorance, I suppose, is his name.
Is there anybody here in this place? I'm sent for in all the haste, I ween. I am commanded to come away apace. They will marvel where so long have I been.
Whither should you go, I pray you, friend? And who is it that for you did send?
Lady Fortune did tell me her mind, that to speak with Moros I do intend.
To tarry here, if you will take pain, Moros will come hither anon. Where impiety is, I would know, fain, and where I should speak with him alone.
Cruelty, impiety, and I were coming all three together. I think verily that they are passed by, and gone even the right way thither.
What are their names when they come there? What do they call impiety?
Philosophy his name is everywhere, cruelty, prudence, and I, antiquity.
Very well, I am glad of this indeed. By reason hereof my journey is at an end. I propose no further to proceed. To return again I do intend. I will cause Moros to make haste. Antiquity tarrieth for you, I will say.
Yea, and though the time be somewhat past, tell him I did not well know the way. Ignorance, yea, ignorance is my name. A meet mate with fools to dwell, a quality of an ancient fame, and yet drown I many one in hell. The papists which the truth do know, Lord, I've nestled them in my science. I've taught them that howsoe'er the wind do blow, they shall still incline to my sentence, so that though they have knowledge and cunning, they are but ignorant and fools. After every heresy and popery they are running, delight daily to learn at new schools. Also many that do themselves abuse, some in that iniquity and some in this. By ignorance they do themselves excuse, as though they know not that they did amiss. When their conscience bear them record that their acts are wicked and evil, therefore when they shall come before the Lord, he shall condemn them with Satan the devil.
Ah, sir, my beard is well grown. I thought that I should be a man once, yea, a gentleman, and so will I be known, a man of honor, both body and bones. How say you, my counsellors? Tell me, have I not a gentleman's countenance?
A better face, truly, I did never see, nor a better leg in my remembrance.
If you had not been comely and wise, fortune would not have so favored you. You must appear to be strange and nice. That will cause men humbly to bow.
Dainty is this Master Moros, a proper gentleman by St. Anne. To dwell with your marship I purpose, and to do you the best service I can.
This is another of your counsel, whose name is called Antiquity. His words are truer than the gospel, a person full of truth and fidelity.
You are welcome, gentle Sanguinity. Sir, is Sanguinity your name?
He is called Ancient Antiquity, a person of good stock and great fame.
Welcome again, then, gentle Candidity. And you are welcome, all three, indeed. Pale Lousy Boy, Flippance, and Candidity. How do you? Welcome, all good speed.
Forsooth, I am called Philosophy. Prudence is this man's name, doubtless. Antiquity he is called verily, and hereafter we shall more plainly express.
Philosophy, Flippance, and Candidity. You're welcome. You come to wait on me. Oh,
Yeah, to serve you with all humility, and to fulfill your requests ready to be.
Fortune appointed me to be governor, and by your own person you to direct, and to convenience every vain troubler which shall presume your mind to infect.
And me she appointed them to correct, which should do aught against your mind. Yea, and your profits and rents to collect, and to seek narrowly where we may them find.
I am ordained always to give you warning of exercitation in any science, lest you hurt your wits with learning, and dull your understanding and science.
how shall I tell you? There was one Piety who, well, had me in his handling. He was up with God and holy divinity, but I was soon weary of his wandering. And that cursed whore, son Derek Quintine, would beat me shrewdly by God's passion. He went about to famish, and me to famish and pine, through one arse out of fashion. I shall desire you, Pale Lousy Boy, and you, Flippance and Candidity, them to banish and utterly destroy, for I fear their crudelity.
Fear? And you a man of nobility? Remember that you are come to manhood.
Hath not fortune set in you authority? With your own hand let their heart blood.
Body of God, give me my sword! Heart wounds. I will kill them by and by. Arms and sides, I have spoken the word. His blood and bones, they shall die. Am I in authority, do you say? May I hang, burn, hate, and kill? Let them be sure I will do what I may. I will be known in authority, that I will.
Piety, and discipline, and excitation, mean you not them, I pray you?
They, indeed, have put me to tribulation, but I trow I will trouble them again now. Body of God, am I in authority? I will burn them, hang them, and boil them, as many as once professed piety. If I may know it, I will turmoil them.
Of God, indeed, many of them talk, and of the soul, and of heaven and hell. But from you as fools let them walk. They speak of a thing whereof they cannot tell. I am named Philosophy. The knowledge of all things I do contain. In me is astronomy, astrology, and the truth of all things in do me remain. I can teach you heaven to know, which they call a spherical figure, more perfect than any other high or low. Eternal, forsooth, in his own nature, also how the world was made, and in the midst of the said heaven, how 5 suns divide in their trade. Of the cycles and epicals 7, of moving and quiet I can teach, of matter and form I can tell goodly gear, such as go up in pulpits and preach, especially these new fellows, to give them no ear. Nay then, whereas you have authority, suffer them not in any wise to dwell. Be bold to punish them with austerity, for it is but all heresy that they do tell. Goodly doctrines I can teach of nature, and how it bringeth forth nothing perfectly. Without art there is a doctrine, sure, and how the same worketh secretly. Now, such as of God to you will talk of heaven, hell, or of the soul. From your presence bid them walk. Ye, they that allege Christ and Paul, concerning those things I am appointed, to bring you into the verity, endeavour yourself to be acquainted with your noble counsellor, Antiquity. From time to time, evermore still, he shall in your company remain. Prudence shall get in, pole and pill, for evermore seek your gain.
You are a cunning person, I see that. Would to God you had a better name. Child, lousy boy. Why, that is too flat. And to call you Pippins, it is a shame.
His name, I tell you, is Philosophy, in whom is contained all science. Antiquity is my name, verily, and this person is called Prudence.
God's blessing on your hearts all. I shall remember your names, I trow. My servants by their names I will call, if my beard a little longer would grow. I doubt not, but as you grow in age, so you will increase in sapience. I shall never want a witty page to sharpen your intelligence.
With all your affairs let us alone. Give you your mind to pleasure. Eat, drink, dally, and play with Joan. We will maintain your state with treasure. Some will move you to read scripture. Some would have you seen in stories. Some to feat of arms will you allure. All these are but plain vainglories. Marry, I would have you seen in cards and dice, as you shall be, I trow, within a while. We trust to make you in them so wise, that none shall be able you to beguile.
You must set yourself earth with the best. You must learn to have a diverse countenance, frowning when a thing you shall detest, pleasant when aught is for your furtherance. So low, that is well when you are angry, meetly well to when you are pleased. A smiling countenance you must carry when your conceit in all things be eased.
By my troth, what you like whom he doth look, he is as like a cousin of mine as ever I did see.
That he is like him in face, you may swear on a book, and also his conditions with his do well agree. As touching all godliness, a fool he was, but in filthy demeanor, who was worse? Out of doubt in sin he did excel and pass, that the whole country for him God did curse.
Leave, I pray you, sirs. What needeth this clatter? You talk, sir, methink, you wot not what. I pray you go forward with our matter. You know any ways for our master's profit? Speak that.
To provide things to come by policy, I will work under such a pretense that all things shall appear honestly. And for that cause I am named Prudence. Again, in providing your necessaries, I will in such a sort canvass the law that such as be your adversaries shall be brought to quorum and awe.
Oh, who hath such servants as I have, so learned, so wise in hall and in school? Among them all there is not one knave, so that it skilleth not, though I be a fool. Would to God I had my servants together! Pastime, pleasure, and Robin Hood. I pray you take pains to call them hither, to have them wait on me, it should do me good.
You know the names of all your servants. It may please you them to hear to recite. We must also know the names of your tenants, that in your books of accounties we may then write.
By a lousy boy, you are the best. None of them better than you, none so good. Pippins intended it he be next. Pastime, pleasure, and Robin Hood. Here be 6 honest persons indeed. By St. Malcolm, it is an honest trade. You shall have all one livery and weed. For you all intend my profit and gain.
To the draper I will go and buy cloth, and array all your servants in a livery. To wait on you otherwise, I would be loth. That will be gentleman, like verily.
The great affairs I do consider, that prudence in other things you must have. It is best, therefore, that we go together. So shall we be sure money to save, and here we leave ancient antiquity. A person that no bad counsel would give, he is prudent and full of sagacity. His counsel see that you do believe.
I have servants that can finely sing. Let me hear, I pray you, what you can do. Singing and playing I love above all things. Let me hear you, I pray you. Go to!
Old and my voice is rusty, yet I will sing to do you pleasure.
We will have drink if you be thirsty, for I love to drink without measure.
You must begin, for I can no skill, yet I will jumble on as well I can.
We are indifferent, sing what you will. We are brought up with a singing man.
We take leave of you for this season. In time we shall wait on you again.
To have a time it standeth with reason, in order to set among your train.
In my house you will appoint me officers, such as shall bring in to make frolic cheer. But those that of discipline and piety are followers, I would have rooted out, both far and near. Fare you well. As soon as you can, return, for I can do nothing without your counsel.
He that speaketh one word against you, we will burn, hang, or head him like a rebel.
Yea, marry, sir, this doth me good at the heart. Fare ye well, worthy to serve a gentleman.
I tell you, they were not brought up at the cart. Full worshipfully their courtesy they can. Now, sir, tell me how feel you your stomach? Are you disposed to play, eat, or drink? Tell me if there be anything that you lack. Devise what you will, and in mind do ye think. You shall have it, whatsoever it do cost. We will neither pass with wind nor weather.
By my troth, the thing that I desire most is, in my cap, to have a goodly feather.
A feather, a matter of great importance. You shall have a feather if it cost £1. Look up lustily, use a gentleman's countenance, and a feather, I trow, for you shall be found.
A feather, which makes you look aloft. Have you one? What? A red one? Now I thank you. It is goodly, soft. This will make me gentleman alone. Make it fast, I pray you, in my cap. Now, by my honour, I thank you heartily. This will bear away a good rap, as good as any salad for me, verily. I look upwards now, always still. God's day, my feather I cannot see. Of this feather I can no skill. One, two, I God, these. Strew my heart, I have hurt my knee.
Like the philosopher that looked so high, so long that he fell into the mire, and also another that gazed so into the sky, till he fell grovellings in the fire. For a gentleman to look high it is meet, but in all things there is a mean. It becometh you to take heed to your feet, lest you make your garment foul and unclean.
Vengeance, take this foolish feather. While it is there, I cannot look down.
Fie, you should have said so rather. Look here, how unseemly you wear your gear. You see, it hangeth all on the one side, and your sword is between your legs. Wise men will you mock and deride, and not set by you a couple of eggs. Let me help you to set your gown right, and on this fashion your sword you must wear. Alack, if I had good sight, I would trim you in your gear.
Must I not look over my shoulder sometime? I have seen some that thus would jet.
To be equal with the best do you climb. Remember still that in honour you are set.
The longer thou livest, the more fool thou art. Every day more fool than other. Thou wilt play such a foolish part as shall shame country, father, and mother. Good audience, note this fool's proceeding. In tender age, in idleness he was nuzzled. In adolescency, when pubes was springing, touching virtue as a dog that is muzzled. Ill-willing to learn and therefore unapt, all his senses he applied to vice. Anon with such companions he was wrapped as no young man will be that is wise. Never could I bring him to piety, that is God to serve, to love, to fear, neither to do aught for his own utility, neither reverence in his heart to bear, but as fools all are unpatient, so is he given to hastiness and ire. In lechery, as fools be all incontinent, through idleness he was set on fire. When to man's stated ones when to man's state once he attained, worldly fortune did him in wealth erect. God and good counsel he disdained, being then with all misery infect. Now is he come unto plain impiety, which persuadeth him God to deny, and with him is joined crudelity, against the innocents to reply. Behold, here he is led with ignorance, so that he will not believe the verity. Besides these he hath other maintenance to uphold him in his iniquity. Of such the prophets did prophesy. The fool saith in his heart, there is no God. Corrupt are they, and full of villainy. Therefore shall they be beat with an iron rod.
Can you tell of whom this tale they have told? I am the man, he knoweth me not now.
Hush, face him out, fear not, be bold. For all this talk he hath of you.
Sirrah, shall I draw my sword or dagger? It is not best to kill him out of hand.
Tush, you're but a craking bragger. I would see you boldly him to withstand.
Would to God that tiled lousy boy were here. Good Lord, what meaneth my man Robin Hood?
Are you afraid? For very shame, draw near. I would let some out of his saucy blood.
Good man, you know you who I am? My beard is grown, I am a man. Now, you shall repent that hither you came. I will kill you, and make God a vow. Vengeance on it, my dagger will not out. Sir, I pray you, my hand this quick. Rail on me, you beggarly lout. You and I a free will make, and am I not a gentleman? Eve, body of God, will you presume? Surely timidity, no power I have, so great is my anger and fume.
A fool uttereth his anger in haste, and hath not the wit measure to keep. Where much anger is, strength is past, and wisdom is drowned in folly deep. As fair legs to a cripple are unseemly, so to a fool honor is undecent. As snow in harvest is untimely, so is it a plague where a fool is regent. What should a fool do with money or treasure, seeing that sapience he cannot buy? In voluptuousness he walloweth without measure, as a beastly swine doth in his filthy sty.
Oh, dear God, from anger I'd like to die. Where is Robin Hood and you Padlotsy boy? Call'st thou me fool? I utterly thee defy. Thee and all thy sword shall utterly destroy. Pluck out my sword, you tendidity. Blessed God, kill him downright.
He should long live in tranquillity, if I had my perfect senses and sight. Be you ruled by my counsel. For this time let us depart and give place. We shall send them hither that shall him compel to hold his peace, yet in spite of his face.
Content. We will go hence, indeed. We will see you. We will send to you ere too long, and I'll ask for my servants in time of need. This poor son for me is too strong.
As Scripture calleth this the highest sapience, God to know, to fear, to love, and obey, and the most pure and high intelligence is to follow his precepts night and day, so God to contemn, to despise, to hate is such a folly as none is more extreme. This is the most miserable state. Yea, no state at all as wise men do esteem, when a fool is compassed with impiety, which is the contempt of God and his ordinances, and such a fool erected to authority. The people must needs sustain many grievances. For their God cannot be duly honored. His holy sacraments had in estimation, neither the public weal rightly governed, but all cometh to utter dissipation. If we should say all that might be said of fools and their extreme folly, how God's people by them have decayed, 2 days would not serve, I think, truly.
Intolerabis nihilus quam dives avarus, quam stultus locopes quam fortunatus infinis. There is nothing more intolerable than a rich man that is covetous, a fool wealthy, a wicked man fortunable, a judge partial, an old man lecherous. Good Lord, how are we now molested? The devil hath sent one into our country, a monster, whom God and man hath detested, a fool that came up from a low degree. My name is People, for I represent all the people where Moros doth dwell, such a person as is with nothing content, so that we think him to be a devil of hell. Neither learning, wisdom, nor reason will serve where he taketh opinion. His words and acts be all out of season. My honest man, he setteth not an onion. As he is such is his family, not one honest person amongst them I know. Ruffians, villains, swearers, full of blasphemy, despisers of all honest men, both high and low. A whole alphabet of his officers I can recite, though it be not in order. A rabble of roisterly rufflers, which trouble all honest men in our borders. As for impiety, cruelty, and ignorance are chief of his counsel, verily. Idleness, wrath, and lecherous dalliance are they which in youth kept him company. Sir Anthony arrogant auditor, Bartholomew Briber, Bailey, Clement Catchwell, Copperer, Division, double-faced Davy, and Envious, chief of the Every, Fabian Falsewood, his head farmer, Gregory Gorbally the gouty, governeth the grain in the garner. Once Hazarder the horsekeeper is, James the just is the chief judge, Leonard Lecturus is the man of law, I wise, Kenelm the knave is in cokery no drudge, Martin the murderer, master of music, Nichol never theft the notary, Owen overthwart, master in physics, Quintin the quaffer, for nothing necessary, Rafe ruffian, the rude railer, Seven sturdy master surveyor, Thomas the thief, his chief tailor, William Witness, the great warrior. With these and such like many mo, we in his circuit be oppressed. For a remedy we know not whether to go, to have our calamity redressed. Unto God only we refer our cause, humbly we commit all to his judgment. We have offended him and his holy laws, therefore are we worthy of this punishment.
Where is he? Blood stains, head and wounds. A man am I now, every inch of me. I shall teach the knave to keep his bounds. What his prattling will profit, I will see. With me to come, I will not suffer one, yet servants I have, and that plenty. I myself, I trow, am good enough alone. Yea, by the mass, if there were 20, no more ado but to fend thy head. Thou shalt know that I am bad. I will make thee that thou shalt eat no more bread, rail no more at Master Moros, then what? Then either I have him slain, or else from my sight he is fled. He has never liked to trouble me again. I wanted him. I have brought him in bed.
The longer thou livest, the more fool thou art. This to thee hath been often recited, for so much as thou hast played such a fool's part, as a fool thou shalt be justly requited. I represent God's severe judgment, which dallieth not where to strike he doth purpose. Hither I am sent to the punishment of this impious fool here called Moros. He hath said there is no God in his heart. His holy laws he hath stoutly blasphemed. Godly discipline could never his mind convert. Virtue nor honesty are of him esteemed.
A pestilence take them, some knaves. They are ever absent when I have need. Whoresons, bring your clubs, bills, bows, and staves. I see that it is time now to take heed.
According unto his most wicked belief, so with the neighbors wickedly he dealeth. From the poor he doth take, and nothing doth give. He oppresseth, bribeth, defraudeth, and stealeth. If he believed God, good works to reward, and devil's wickedness to punish in fire, his promises and threats he would more regard, do penance, and for mercy desire. But such fools in their hearts do say, there is no God, neither heaven nor hell. According to their saying, they follow that way, like as a little before I did tell, for as much as vengeance to God doth belong, and he will the same recompense, that he is a God of power, mighty and strong, the fools shall know by experience. With this sword of vengeance, I thee strike. I strike, with the sword of vengeance, I strike thee, strike Moros, and let him fall down. Thy wicked household shall be dispersed. Thy children shall be rooted out to the 4th degree, like as the mouth of God hath rehearsed.
Either I have the falling sickness, or else with the palsy I am stricken. I feel myself no manner of quickness. I begin now strangely to sicken.
If thou hast grace, for mercy now call, yet thy soul perchance thou mayst save, for his mercy is above his works all. On penitent sinners he is wont mercy to have.
It was but a qualm came over my heart. I lack nothing but a cup of good wine.
Indurate wretches cannot convert, but die in their filthiness like swine. Beholdeth, here comes shame and confusion, the reward of such wicked fools all. To all the world shall appear thy abusion, thy wickedness and false belief, too great and small.
Here is an ill-favoured knave by the mass. Get thee hence, thief, with a wanion.
This is the reward of such a foolish ass, for evermore he shall be thy companion.
The wise shall have honour in possession. Thus we, the wise King Solomon doth say, but the portion of fools is confusion, which abideth with them for ever and aye.
Confusion? Spoil him of his array. Give him his fool's coat for him due. His chain and his staff take thou away. In sorrow and care forever let him rue.
Why, am I asleep? In a dream? Or in a trance? Ever methink that I should be waking? Body of God, this is a wonderful chance. I cannot stand on my feet for quaking.
As the ears of an ass appeared in Midas, though it were long ere it were known, so at length evermore it cometh to pass, that the folly of fools is openly blown, and then in this world they have confusion. Then it is reproof derision, and open shame. And when they have ended all their abusion, they leave behind them an abominable name. Come, foolish Moros, come with me, and I shall bring thee to a shameful end. Thy malice will not let the folly thee to see, for that thou hast not the grace thy life to amend.
Amen. Where is my goodly gear? I see well that I was asleep indeed. What am I fain? Fools, coat to wear. We must learn that Christ's cross may speed. I thought I was a gentleman and had servants, or else I dreamed that I was a gentleman.
But thou art now a peasant of all peasants, a derision and mock to man and woman. Come forth of thy folly to receiveth thy hire. Confusion, poverty, sickness, and punishment after this life eternal fire. Do for fools that be impenitent.
Yet go with thee, ill-favoured knave. I had liever thou wert hanged by the neck. If it please the devil me to have, let him carry me away on his back.
I will carry thee to the devil indeed. The world shall be rid of a fool.
Adieu to the devil. Oh, God send us good speed. And well, another while with the devil I must go to school.
For sin, though God suffereth impiety, greatly to dishonour of his name, yet at length he throweth down iniquity, and putteth the authors thereof to shame. So confounded he tyrants in times past, whom holy scripture fools doth call. For as beasts here their times they did waste, and from our wickedness to another, from one wickedness to another did fall. What shall we need their names to recite, seeing that every man hath of them heard? In our times we have known fools full of spite, and in this world have seen their reward. We do not only them fools call here, which have not the perfect use of reason, innocence whereof be many far and near, in whom discretion is geesen. But those are the greatest fools, properly, which disdain to learn sapience, to speak, to do, to work, all things orderly, and as God hath given intelligence. But contrary to nature and God's will, they stop their eyes through willful ignorance. They seek to flee to prison, to pole, to pill, only for their own furtherance. Of all fools, indeed, this is the worst kind, whereof this time we have treated, which to all mischief giveth his mind, and refuseth to be instructed. Many things more of fools we could talk, but we have detained long our audience. Another way I am compelled to walk, desiring you a while to have patience. Although this fool of whom we have spoken hath refused all honest exercise, yet the hearts of wise men God doth open, virtuous occupation not to despise. For undoubtedly it is hard, as they say, to get the scepter out of the hand of Hercules, as for one to be well occupied night or day, that is noosed in unhappy idleness. For Theophylactus doth write, idleness hath taught all iniquity, and as Ezekiel also doth recite, idleness taught the Sodomites impiety. Neither will I believe that man good to be, whether he be of clergy or lay, whom idle and not well occupied I see, which do nothing but eat, drink, and play.
We desire no man here be offended, in that we use this term piety, which is despised and vilely pended, sinners and authors of iniquity, that heathen philosophers and orators use the same term and in the same sense. Learned Christians, true worshippers, created a piety with this science. Plato, Aristotle, Valerius, and Tully wrote of piety and divers other, and called it an honour due to God only, and a natural duty to father and mother. St. Augustine, in his book of God's City, and in other noble works that he did make, treateth holily of this term piety, and that he doth take it, so we do it take. Ipsa et Ilias appendique pietas faculta, quae collita pater luminum, aquo est omni datum optum. That is the highest sapience notified, which is called piety indeed, whereby the Father of light is worshipped, from each good gift doth proceed.
Touching my person called discipline, in the process I have said sufficient, yet to end with some honest doctrine, you shall hear a learned man's judgment. There be many disciplines, as authors do say. Among all there be two principal, that be sire and sapere alway, to have cunning and wisdom withal.
Ut fluiosus habens gladum sic doctus iniquus. Without fail, this is a notable verse. I would all men could it well by rote. The sentence thereof Solomon did rehearse. I wish all the audience it to note. A wicked man, having learning and cunning, and doth many sciences understand, is like one whose wits are running. I mean, a madman having a sword in his hand.
For a madman having a sword, having in his hand edged tool, seeketh both at himself and other to kill. So a cunning man without wisdom is but a fool, for both himself and many other he doth spill. Wherefore, whosoe'er hath intelligence, let him humbly desire of God evermore, that he will also give him sapience, to bestow his cunning to his honour.
This is the sum of the whole intent, to induce youth to these two aforesaid, sire and sapere. You know what is meant. Then many things amiss shall be well stayed.
To learn many things and many things to know, than to have wisdom the same to direct. These be two disciplines meet for high and low, which to all virtues do the mind erect.
For this time we have said sufficient. With sire and sapere we make an end, beseeching our Lord God omnipotent, that amongst us his grace he may send.
And here we make an end, trusting that all you present will bear us record that no estate we defame. To praise the good order now set is our intent, and to further the glory of God's holy name.
God save the Queen's Highness and the nobility, defend her long, we beseech thee, Lord, which is the patroness of all humility, a setter forth of truth, and a lover of concord.
God preserve the Queen's most honourable counsel, with all the magistrates of this region, that they may agree to maintain God's gospel, which is the most true and sincere religion. To root out Antichrist, I pray God they may take pain, then will the Lord send them honour and fame, and after this life give them reward of the same.
Pray we for the clergy and whole spirituality, that they may teach and set forth God's truth alway. I beseech you, let us pray for the whole communality, that upon us all God mercy take may, so that each one of us in the right way may stay. All glory, honor, empery, majesty, and dignity be given both now and evermore to the blessed Trinity.
And they all lived happily ever after. So we come to the end of that. I think there's a moral message hidden in this text somewhere. I don't know if anyone caught it, but it was really subtle in the way it was done. Okay, within that, I mean, there's an awful lot of let's just say the same thing again and again and again. Within that, there's some really good material. I think there's some really interesting stage business. I think it's doing some very interesting things with morality plays, forms, and things. It is interesting that very recently, at time of recording this, we were looking at a play called Occupation and Idleness, which is over 100 years before this, which basically has the same plot in miniature. So this basic plot form of, hi, how do we teach children to be good? Let's beat the gap out of them. It's nice to know things change, and so there's some really interesting, the stuff with the feather, the songs, there's some interesting business in this that I'm really liking, and I'm generally liking what he's doing. There's just a lot of it. There's just so much of it. Thoughts in the room? By the way, I'm not going to go around final thoughts and I'm going to go around until people start switching off their cameras because we've gone long. So anyone who wants to speak now or just disappear, whichever one you want to do. Wave at me if you have a thought. I see Lynn and then Alexandra.
Well, it would have been a lot less fun if Moros hadn't been so fun. I mean, I think Alexandra really mined that for the humor, which that's the saving grace.
Yeah, and this is the thing. It's always the problem, isn't it? We always like the bad people, and technically this is sort of the everyman figure here, except in this version, it doesn't repent properly and goes to hell. So hey,
Bummer.
This is proper Calvinist stuff. Alexandra.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to mention, is that I love the fact that he has absolutely no repentance. He's like, okay, I guess I'll learn better over there. Let the devil teach me then if you guys fail. And there's also something really weird going on with the, one is the religious message. It sort of just happens. They kind of go, and this has made him an atheist. Having fun has made him renounce God. My character didn't say anything about that. My character never said anything about divinity at all, other than occasionally going, "Oh my God!" But yeah, audience, the moral of this story is this: having fun causes atheism. And the other thing that I found weird is, yes, there are songs, but they seem quite crowbarred in. They sort of go, and before you go, let's have a song. All right, you start it. All right, here we go. For no sort of. What's the word? Diegetic reason.
Yes, we have this occasionally with boys' company plays where they're just going, we're coming to the end of the act. Have we done the song yet? No, song. It's just random song time. I'm just trying to remember at what point does the term atheist become popularized as a concept, because it doesn't quite mean what we think of it today. Because it doesn't necessarily mean a non-believing God. It's more that you. Not so much, all the theology stuff. There's probably a God, but actually, do we really care to? And I think it must be around this time that it really starts becoming a thing that people are talking against. And so I'm really interested in terms of when the term first appears, and I can't remember off the top of my head when it is. I think it's about now, because it's something that obviously Marlowe will pick up in 15 odd years time. So and be writing about. So that interests me. Alan,
I'm just wondering whether the early bit of Morris's role, where you've got all these snatches of song, were actually written for a specific performer at the time, who was a known songster. Because the song element does fade away quite rapidly thereafter. And there are bits and pieces in there which may actually be song lyrics, but they're not keyed as such. So there could, I suppose, be reprises of numbers coming back later.
It's interesting. Is it more that once he grows up, the singing drops out? Is that, could be that an element? Alexandra?
Well, if I read this correctly, I get the sense that Moros is the one who starts singing in the beginning. He's the one who instigates the song in the middle, and also nearer the end, he's the one who calls for a song. And they say, "Well, you're trained in singing. You start it." So yeah, I think there's definitely a possibly child performer they were pushing forward about, this is the one that can sing. And also I think mature, no, sorry, elderly Moros is the only one that doesn't sing.
So is there I mean, I think we can ignore to a degree the cast listing for 4, that may just be basically a fiction for how you'd read it at home rather than how it was performed. But maybe it's a case of actually a different actor played Morris half when he grew up, because it was like, we need to make him look older, so maybe we have a different actor who doesn't sing. That's just pure speculation. Mark.
To me, the most memorably fun part was where Moros is the repeat after me bit. And it kind of feels on the page like it goes too long. Like, there's no, rules of 3 here or anything like that. It's just keeps... But I feel like that could actually work really well on stage. You find ways to infuse some levels to that as you go. But I enjoyed that part.
Yeah, and again, it's a thing we see with clowns and other business of this, getting the line wrong after the person before. The town crier, you do the cry, and we have had that multiple times, and I can't remember in the time scheme of when it first starts cropping up, where it fits. I suspect it's actually quite early, really, but in terms of where it appears in our timeline. First, I'm sure there'll be earlier ones than this, but themes of education and ignorance, and we've had these characters before. They're not new, and the framing of how it all functions is not new, and just how this. It's always easier to read a text like this having done all the moralities before and all the interludes before, because it's not going, I know what the game of this text is. And it's a problem for a modern audience, of course, if they haven't gone through this process of going, why are they doing this? Because, and the answer is because that's what you do in these plays. You have this bit, or you have that bit. Alan?
I have a funny feeling that we actually have had that misheard repeat, the town repeating what the town crier said or whatever. I have a funny feeling it turns up in at least one of the mystery cycles.
I can't remember. I'm not sure if it does, but it may be a medieval equivalent.
And it carries on. I mean, it's still a staple of Panto, for God's sake, even now.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting question about who this play is for and what's going on. It's printed in 1569. I think it's been attributed to, or ends up in the. It has been suggested it ends up in the repertory of a playing company in the 1570s. But whether it started off somewhere else, whether it started off, I say, William Wager writes several of these plays that are all based around proverbs, whether they're primarily designed for education and what they're for. There's all sorts of interesting questions about his work, because they do bounce along. I mean, they often overstay their welcome and things. And of course, we have had this suggestion with any Proverbs play that you need to have a drinking game with the audience, that every time you hear the title of the show, you have to take a shot. Nobody will be able to walk out of the room after the show's over, but it would be enjoyable. That was an interesting exercise. Any additional final thoughts before I close the session? No. Well, all that remains then is to thank all the wonderful readers for all their wonderful reading. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye. When pubes was springing,